Europeans wish to conquer us. They will not stop until the whole of Africa is theirs. We must fight back for our people.
Maresca, you're asking me to take them to war.
Some things are worth fighting for.
I cannot begin to describe.
Hey, good day. This is Tommy Thomas coming to you live from Charlotte, North Carolina, courtesy of Tster Down Productions. And today I wanted to talk about an incredible movie, The Woman King with Viola Davis and company. When I saw the trailer come out a few months back, I knew it was going to be a hit because it was a true story that actually happened way back in a few centuries ago. And what a lot of people don't realize is that the history of African nations was very powerful, and we don't get a chance to see this side. Usually it's dictated to us in ways that we should know better and know about our own history. But facts are facts. They were empires in Africa that were predominantly led by women, warriors, queens, and just incredible journeys that these women went through to protect their country, and to do it in the fashion of warfare, when the men were pretty much running away. There were a lot of colonies coming, colonists coming in, the British, the French, the Spanish, people like that, and just coming all through Africa, selling black folks in the slave trade. And there were women in that culture back then who said, "Oh, you're not getting us this easily." And they went about their business to make sure that these people respected them, and they had the commitment and the toughness to stand up for what they believed in, and just to back it up, to go through the training, to go through all the things that most men go through. Now, there were men warriors out there, but trust me, when it came time to fighting, the men ran, and they went the other way. Or they were trying to talk, oh, okay, let's talk peace, blah, blah, blah. But we all know those settlers are coming in, those colonizers, they were coming in to take away, and they weren't trying to negotiate. And these black warrior women, they took it to another level. Now, I've been doing reading about these black empires that were predominantly run by women back in years ago, and I have been waiting for this movie to come out to tell this story. Now, we saw a little bit of it in the Black Panther when they talked about his female group, that they came in and protect their king, and it was pretty much loosely based off of this movie. And these women and these tribes and these cultures is what set off alarm to the white settlers. It was like, oh my God, these people aren't taking it. And they're to their surprise, they get here and they thought they would be fighting men. And when they got here, their heads were turned. They were black women kicking butt. I mean, literally kicking butt, taking no prisoners. This movie, The Woman King, it amplifies everything of the spirit of these women, and the passion and the desire and the training and the sacrifice that these women were making to save their country. They had the respect of their king, the people. They were honored, and rightfully so. How do we got in this upside down society where women in this side of the fence were not acting like that? It's just incredible turnaround. Throughout our history in Africa, we know there were great women, warriors, queens. Hatshepsut from Egypt, for crying out loud, to see the things that she did. And there were many, 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 many more prominent black women. Forget about Sheba, which is now Ethiopia, and you hear about all the other big names, but there were other women, warrior queens who were taking it to the fight, all the way to the British, to the French, anybody who wanted a piece of it. And they stood their ground, and they were victorious in a lot of ways. And they won the hearts of everybody who was involved. And history lets you know that they were there, and this is a true story. So I implore everybody, no matter what color you are, sex, to go see this movie. The acting was superb. It detailed everything to a T. You got the feeling while you were in there in the movie theater. You felt the sense of pride, especially for African American people, especially African American women. This is great for black women to see that the Dahomey Kingdom, the African tribes that they were there, these actually existed. Women actually acted like this. They actually stood up for themselves. There actually was equality. There were things that were set in motion that they can do. You come over here in America, and it's an uphill battle. All the things that you have to go through here: equal pay, equal rights, sexism. The list goes on. And we know we can do better as a society. But at least this movie, The Woman King, shows and amplifies how things were. You hear about Shaka Zulu. You hear about all these other great kings, Ramses II, and all these other guys. But I'm telling you, these women in these kingdoms, and there were many. There were at least 10 kingdoms and empires that don't have the names anymore. And they're different countries now, named in Africa. But they were empires, and they ran a huge amount of area away from other people who were trying to come in and take them away. And they were absolutely incredible. So I'm not sure if you had a chance to go see this movie. I know a lot of people have talked about it, the hype. Viola Davis, she has to get an Oscar. There's just no other way to say it. She was superb. All the actresses were superb. And the storyline was just straight to the point. And it was just wonderful to see women in that light. And I've always believed women could do these things, and we all know women can do these things. We know that this whole earth should be female dominated. It's Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Every dominant insect society is run by females, queens, the ants, bees, etc. We all know that. The top dominant predators of this earth that we envy, we just admire, are female dominated animals. The lions, the hyenas, the cheetahs. Just think about that. If women can put their mindset together and we can build together, all of us, it would just be a greater country, it'd be a greater world. And this kind of movie, I was happy and proud to see. I went on my birthday. I asked for this as a birthday present, actually, because that's how empowering that is. So I'm exactly just kind of throwing my 2 cents in, look at the trailer, get the feeling. But when you come out of that movie theater, there's a sense of pride and joy that you get in your heart. And I'm just asking you to take a chance and go see this movie for yourself and be your own judge of character, and then you can kind of come back and maybe you can have some insights to what I've just described. Just absolutely wonderful. And we have other movies coming out. I believe the Emmett Till movie is coming out. Whitney Houston movie's coming out. Black Panther 2 is coming out. So we have to come out as black people and support our brothers and sisters who are putting in the work, putting in the effort to make these stories come alive, and the people behind the scenes, the producers, the directors, people who are in the know, who are getting these things passed on so we can enjoy this truthfulness, because we've been brainwashed since day one. I don't want to get into a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'll save that for another segment. But just one last thing is, we all know that we just lost the Queen, Elizabeth II. God rest her soul. But this woman came from mixed marriage. Her great-great-great-great-grandmother was Queen Charlotte of Mecklenburg. That's right, Queen Charlotte of Mecklenburg. Well, where do I live? I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, named after her, in Mecklenburg County. And she was black. She was a Moor. My grandmother taught me that, and I wish I could have learned more from my grandmother. But these are the things that you have to understand. Greatness comes from a longer distance of black women. They just have to be recognized. Folks, I appreciate your time, and y'all have a good evening, and make sure you watch the movie. Goodbye.